on which veil, how you're looking at the world around you. And until you feel safe, you can't open your heart to other people, and you only feel safe when you've cultivated that part of yourself which is not vulnerable, which isn't just your separateness. As long as you think you are only your separateness, you are doomed to fear and anxiety all the time, if only the fear of death. Welcome, everyone, to another Ram Dass Here and Now episode. This is number 246, How to Be Responsive, Not Reactive. And don't we all need that from time to time, especially in these times where everything seems really inflammatory? If you don't know me, I'm Jackie Dobrinska, the host, and you all are this incredible Ram Dass community from around the world. Thank you for tuning in. This episode is a continuation of the last one, which was a lecture in Knoxville, Tennessee in 1987. Maybe you think of Ram Dass and his awakening originally through the psychedelic experiences that sort of opened him to these other planes of himself. But in this episode, he gives example after example of these everyday experiences. Well, not quite everyday experiences, but they're the relationships that helped him wake up in a similar way. You know, to wake up to those places beyond our roles and those habituated beliefs and thought forms and into this other part of ourself that is expanded and present and in communion with what is, that sort of intuitive heart, that place that the Sufi and Christian mystics wrote poems about, and that place that I think most of us long for in a deep way. So if you are a longtime listener, you have heard many of these stories, perhaps many times. I sort of want to call this episode Story Time with Ram Dass, or Ram Dass's greatest hits, and then dedicate it to some sweet long-lost love. They are oldies but goodies, and always worth revisiting because you catch something new each time. I know I did when listening to these for probably the 30th time. So, a quick teaser. He starts with a poignant example of how suffering, though we don't wish it on ourselves or anyone, how it can be this like incredible, skillful means to break down our ego so that we can drop into that expanded or experience that expanded version of who we really are. He tells two of his favorite stories about how his guru blew his mind and how that led to this experience of unconditional love that was a catalyst to, again, expand beyond what they call samskaras or vasanas in the yoga tradition, beyond the ways we hold ourselves. He shares a couple more stories about these really special beings who helped him release that I-ness that we're often caught in and drop into that sweet communion. And then another couple of stories about letting go of our expectations and the way we box ourselves and others in, how we're caught by that constant flow of thoughts, and simply relish in what's happening, even if it's boredom or discomfort. And in that tapping in, there is a sweetness, even a bliss. And then he ends with what I think might be like my favorite story of all time. It might be getting made into a movie. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything more about it, except that one of the things I like to do is listen to it as if I was each of the characters, because it brings a different perspective. So in listening to this episode, it makes me wonder, you know, what life events are happening to each of us that are helping us to break out of our conditioning and limited selves. Maybe it's breakups or love affairs or births or deaths, or maybe it's really simple interactions we overlook every day. I recently had one. It was one of the more dramatic ones. I say I died. And it's a dramatic and fun way of saying that I went through this death contemplation as part of this direct care training at the Conscious Center for Living and Dying here in Asheville, North Carolina. It was executed so incredibly well by the facilitator. The whole room was crying. And in our different ways, we all dropped form. And for me, it led to this really real experience of merging into expansiveness and the bliss of that, but also seeing the exquisite beauty and yumminess of being here, of being in form with all of the pain and attachment. I think many of us know that place in various ways. I think it was Julian of Norwich called it wanting. I don't know if that's quite what wanting is, but that's my thought of it. Anyway, when I came back, I was so excited. I was like, I don't want to miss a minute of this life. I want to give up all those habits of thought that have me hanging out in like petty disappointment or irritations or misunderstandings or playing small, to just be present and love all of it. And I found myself wanting to like call up people from my past who have either disappointed me or I've disappointed them or both, and just be like, hey, let's stop locking each other in these thought forms. But, I didn't, because part of it is also relishing in what is the loneliness, the boredom, the discomfort. And I think that's the underlying message of this episode. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just being with whatever allows us to drop into that intuitive, sweet heart. Anyway, I hope you will come and share your experiences that open you up at our next Ram Dass Soul Pod meeting. It's where we build community. And someone recently told me something they had heard about how do you build healthy community? I'm not sure where it comes from, but the answer was, you share a little of your story, you hear a little bit of someone else's story, you dance and you sing. And we probably won't be dancing, but we will be doing the rest. And so come be a part. The information for it is in the show notes. Also, one more thing of that death-like experience was just wanting to take really good care of this form. And that means taking good care of my nervous system, which means giving up coffee again, which often results in just this afternoon irritation. A friend of mine calls coffee anger in a cup. And so, again, I'm leaning more heavily on this amazing drink we've told you about many times called Magic Mind. So if you want sustained energy levels without those coffee jitters and mood swings, check it out. It has green tea and just this amazing array of plants and called adaptogens. They're just profound allies. So you can get 50% off your subscription in the next 10 days. You go to magicmind.com/Ramdas and use the code Ramdas. So we thank all of our sponsors, because without them, we could not bring you this podcast. And also to you who donate. We can't do it without you. So if you don't, please go to ramdas.org/donate and give. As always, we hope you are nourished by this episode and these teachings, and whatever good may come from it, may it benefit all of us in our daily lives and ripple out into the world for the benefit of all beings. Here is Ram Dass, here and now. Namaste and blessings.
Namaste, Ram Dass. Stick it in your anus. Ram Dass. Ram Dass.
About a year ago, my stepmother died of cancer, and I got a chance to nurse her during her final months. And I got a chance to, and I would involve catheters.
Hello? Hello?
And milkshakes and carrying her to the toilet. changing her and lying down and holding her and just being with her. And it was a very powerful experience for both of us. Now, I watched my human heart. She was a good person. She was a really strong-willed person. I really admired her and I liked her a lot. And I knew I was going to miss her terribly. And on a personal human level, it hurt a lot. And I would do anything to take away her suffering. I sat there with pills in my hands and milkshakes and anything that might help. And every time there was a pain, if I felt that my negligence had caused it, I would feel waves of guilt and anger and all that stuff. I mean, all my human stuff was hanging out there. But I watched, because I was quiet inside also with this other place. I watched the way the universe works. And I watched the way her pain, which I couldn't take away, was slowly breaking through her ego. And she'd say to me, Rich, I don't understand this pain. She was saying, look, I've been a good person. Why am I suffering so? But I watched as she got closer to death, that it was like her ego, like a shell of an egg, it broke open. And what emerged was not Phyllis, it was just this being of presence. And we would be together and there was no space, we were just floating together. And she was radiantly beautiful as she was approaching death. She didn't even know herself. It was like a whole being that had been inside her all this time and then suddenly came through. And when she died, she just breathed out and left perfectly quietly. And I thought, what have I just seen? It's like you looked inside the tent and seen behind the billboard. You've seen behind it. And what I saw was that as much as I would have wished to take away that pain and suffering was like the tap that broke the shell that allowed the spirit to come forth, and she was a radiant soul. And I wouldn't have seen that, and she wouldn't have seen it. And by the time she died, it was a soul merging back into the spirit. And I thought, boy, I'd never do that to anybody, and yet it was incredible.
I'm going to
From Aeschylus,
where I grew up,
from the Orestes.
Delhi, and he said, and I might get a chance.
It says, pain falls drop by drop upon the heart until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God.
I never thought about anything.
In our own despair,
I never thought about him as a man.
against
I never
our
thought
will,
about him as
comes wisdom through the awful grace of God. And that's what I saw. I saw the awful grace. And as you quiet down, you see the awful grace. You see that the things that you as a personality see as the enemy, from the spiritual you, they become the curriculum and the beautiful stuff through which you can awaken. I don't ask for pain. I mean, I'm not a masochist at a psychological level. But when it comes along, let's work with it. Loneliness, fears, agitation. The other day I was speaking in Des Moines, Iowa, and I came into the hall, and it's interesting when you come into a hall, when you're, see, to me, I'm like Arenta Ramdas. See, I don't take myself seriously. I mean, I'm just fulfilling a role. I'm in here, but I have no form, so what after you saw that somebody wasn't the way, you go into nobody training and you learn how to be nobody being somebody, which is different. So I came into the hall and there were people waiting, and they, Ram Dass. See, and what you find that other people's projections turn you into something, because you're not anybody. You don't have to be somebody. So they go, Ram Dass, and you go, yes. You know, it's like, and so I was being Ram Dassian, you know, as I kind of came into the hall, and who it was that people wanted me to be is sort of a warm, loving, humble seeker. You know, and I mean, I can play that. I mean, it's not that I'm not that. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm just not anything. So that's as good as any other one. You know. And so I walked into the hall being very loving and sweet. And every evening I ask that I be given one of these mini boom mics so that I can sit cross-legged and bring the mic up close. Because if it's straight mic, I've got to spend the whole evening leaning forward like that. So I walked in the hall all loving, and I looked up, and there was a straight microphone. And I was smiling. I said, what's that? And the manager, the woman managing the hall, she said, well, that's the only microphone we had. I said, well, we ask in advance for a mini boomer. I suddenly saw myself turn into this kind of grotesque being. And I burst out laughing. Because what I saw was that my guru had come in drag as a microphone to say, try this on, you phony holy, you know. And you get to love it when you lose it. You really love it when you lose it, because it shows you your secret stash. Otherwise, you don't even see the stuff. All these little uncooked seeds of desire are lurking around, and fears, they're all just hanging around, and you can see, you keep conning yourself into thinking you're somewhere, and somewhere isn't good enough. You got to keep cleaning away and cleaning away and cleaning away. It becomes such sport. You just clean away.
Brad got some new admirers want to go out camping and pitch a tent and pitch some woo.
Now,
I'm just jealous.
one of the things that has happened to me, despite the fact that my colleagues said nothing had happened, was, and it's been a very confusing experience.
Tell them all if the woods get drunk, chop some wood and pitch tents. Yeah, there's gonna be some chopping of wood with the motherfuckers.
You know what? And also too, like, I don't know, officer. We went hiking. They wanted to go see some trail. I don't know what happened. They just disappeared. I've been searching all night. I can't find them. Please go save them.
Ding 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 ding.
Bye, Edmund.
Was that your form of saying hello?
So, did you guys see that crap today? How well do you think this is going to pull with, what's his name? Biden on canceling Easter at the White House, ending egg hunts?
Yeah. And didn't he like turn it into Transgender Identification Day or something like that?
Yeah, he turned it into a Marine Corps holiday since, they pretty much identify as transgender.
You know, the whole thing about Easter, Ishtarte, the Babylonian goddess of fertility, deals with trans ideology, and it is a sick, insult to Christian Americans everywhere. It's just the desecration and satanization of the White House. He's a pure Satanist or a sadist.
I was really trying to get CEO up here to comment because I know he loves jumping into those types of topics.
It is religious, spiritual, psychological, philosophical, and political all at once. Joe Biden is the embodiment of the Patrick Bateman on LSD. He's the devil. And Barack Hussein Obama is the devil too, and Clinton is as well. I mean, they are the Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader team of America. These are this is why they're there, because they are those evil dark lords. They have that power.
What was your question, Brad? I didn't even hear you.
I just said, what do you think about turning Easter into a transgender holiday?
That's so fly, bro.
Can you believe that he's definitely not Catholic? He says that he's Catholic.
None of these Catholics are ever Catholic. All they do is advocate for abortion. It's their number one agenda is legalizing and promoting abortion. These Catholics are all gay Satanist pedophiles. And I know, the gentleman up here, I mean, I heard Sig and Brad go on and on about how bullshit Christianity is for a long time. But when you contrast the man, the wife, the child, the Trinity, a husband, a wife, and a son, that symbol versus two men with a child, two women with a child, you're talking about symbols and concepts of society and legality. And everything is an inversion with the Democrats. Every single time, every single way, it's meant to gaslight in all communications.
Okay. So what's going on, anime?
Not much. How are you?
Oh, just hanging in here.
Arya made her communion yesterday, KP.
Say what?
Arya made her communion yesterday.
You made communion?
Arya, my daughter.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you give her your own dress to wear?
I gave her my veil, my old veil.
Oh, okay.
Thought I bought her her own dress. She looked really great. That's about it. What is new with you?
Oh, shit. Nothing really. Nothing at all. Just trying to move some shit around the house.
Oscar, just your faggot ass up here.
Oscar joined Clown World. He took the oath of office.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Look, and CEO's scared to come up here because of Brad. And Oscar, I don't know why he's scared.
I don't know. Oscar should come up here. Some dude was talking shit.
One thing to consider about the word Easter is East, the philosophy of the East. I mean, look at my profile, the Buddha. It's like 800 million people that believe in the writings of the Buddha. And I know you guys, whatever your philosophical or religious beliefs are, you should read the Dhammapada, which is the writings of the Buddha. It's a very interesting book. It deals with the responsive mind, not the reactive mind, which is peace mind, which is what Christ is all about. So through the Buddha's writings, you can get a much better understanding of Christ if Christ still confounds you.
Sick, yeah, you should read that book. You'd love it.
I mean, discuss the last books you read. That's the biggest thing is you can keep coming to Clown House for another 3 years and echo chamber yourself and repeat your pattern ad infinitum. But if you don't know read new books, you can't expand your echo chamber.
Read new books about Buddhists?
No, the writings of the Buddha, not about Buddhists, but the actual teachings of the Buddha.
No,
It's
they
very
do. Why
interesting.
would anyone- I wouldn't do
Because
that.
it deals with psychology. It's basically agnostic. It deals with peace mind. And what I'm telling you is when you read the King James Bible, it's not as explicit in terms of the Buddha's teachings.
Oh, jeez. not going to convince me to not read the King James Bible.
I'm not convincing you to not read the King James Bible. I'm trying to convince you to read the
You're
Dhammapada.
being a Satanist.
I'm not being a Satanist. I'm trying to tell you to read the Dhammapada. It's an important book. 800 million people supposedly is subscribed to Buddhism. Which is on just about on par with Christianity and Islam. So it's a significant book, and it's very short, and it's a very useful book. I'm just promoting it because I enjoy it. It's not because I'm trying to convince you or, anything. I mean, I'm just bringing it up because it's Sunday chill, and it's a chill book.
Okay, so the last book I read was the water purification sources and analysis for the best streams and the various techniques that filter water. So that was the last book I finished up last night. It took me 3 days to read, and it was about 800 pages. The book before that was Gundog. The one before that was ballistic comparisons to climate forces on something else. It was a whole paper talking about how bullets and their trajectories go through. The one before that was foraging and harnessing the steel out of the wild to make your own blades, tomahawks. And then, let's see, and then I read Marley and Me. That was a cute little story. So there you go. Dog book. And then the one before that was the Quest for Historical Jesus. So, and then the one before that was the economic impact on China from the Mongolian Empire.
You know what? The one thing that you know what the greatest clown house enema is?
I don't do enemas.
I'm saying hypothetically in a social audio chit chat app. Do you know what the greatest purgative is?
No. I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know.
Well, there's 3 words for it. One is prana, one is ruach, or spiritus, which is Hebrew, Latin, and what's the other one? Anyways, my point is it's breathing. That is silence. And I'm not going to say the H word, but I'm just telling you that the greatest purgative or the greatest way to essentially do a clown house enema is through a deep breathing exercise. So I would invite you and I would implore you to take the deepest breath of the day through your nose. Hello? And hold your breath for 10 seconds.
Bitch. What?
So just let that 10-second breath go. Do another deep breath of the day. Let it go and say, I am a flower. Happy Easter, everybody. Rabbeinu Shalom.
Stop it with your shit. Listen, you know you need to kick him.
What is the greatest purgative? Oh, that was genius. Hello? That was genius. Genius. I mean, the timing was impeccable. The timing was impeccable. So we're not going to go too much longer. We are having a lot of Easter fun, though, I got to tell you. This has been a great day so far. Great day of prank calling. Oh, and we're not finished. We'll go back to that room. We got 2 other accounts. I'm pretty sure they haven't blocked my accounts.
Oh, shit.
Kick me from that roof too. Okay, this is called Brighton versus Liverpool. Hello? 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 That was the wrong room, my bad. This is Arsenal versus Cityside. Hello? I'm going with Cityside, dog. Cityside's gonna kick Arsenal's ass, bro. Arsenal don't stand shit. All my money's going on fucking Cityside. South side, outside, Cityside. Oh, oh. Hello?
Because I know you don't have bunnies at your house. Good, good. I'm glad. Zen, just leave the room. Okay, Zen here. Okay, kick him. He's going around disrupting rooms, ringing his bell. He's a little idiot.
Kick him! Kick him! Kick him. Oh my god, so funny. Hello? 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 Where y'all at? Nigga, what did you just say? You're racist. I'm reporting you. Hello? Babuji! Guruji! Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha. Om Bubu Vasa, Statavidora Renyam, Bagadeva Dasadami, Nioyona Pradaya. Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha, Tarimane Bol Pancho, Sotinas Hoga, Kute, 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 Kute. I think that drove them crazy.
Yeah, but
Hello? I am in possession of Area 51 files received from extraterrestrial trolls. I have come to give you the UFO files from the... That was really funny. That was the name of their room. UFO 51 files from extraterrestrial trolls. That was genius. I have also come to give you the Area 51 files received from extraterrestrial trolls. I am in possession of the files. Prepare to receive them. So funny. He is such a funny troll. I'm thinking about what people hopefully say about me. Damn, nothing left. We cleaned it out. We cleared the cache. We didn't get no ass. Always have a backup plan. That's what I say. At least 2 backup plans. That's all I'm trying to say. Did they kick me? No, I think it crashed. Ooh, Rascal's got an open discussion going.
I think some people do think in visual representations quite often.
Oh, that's not okay. No, I thought you were saying that some people just think in images and stuff. I'm not saying. I don't think like that's it. Something inclusive or like of like a particular mental like orientation. I think like you could like it could be any kind of person.
But what you have to do is demonstrate that God exists in any meaningful way.
Okay, you know, then I must say you're looking for someone that
Does anybody
convinces
here
you.
not have
And
internal
after
monologue?
convincing, after you
doesn't know.
get convinced, what would you do? Will change your
Is that a
life
disorder?
better or worse?
Is that detrimental
Your life.
though? To like, is it?
Think.
Because I feel like things that are disorders tend to be like the idea that there's some kind of handicap if you have that condition.
Yeah, I think they're just personality types.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's like your faculties are actually impaired.
Yeah, I don't see. Cause I don't think like not having an inner monologue would like stop you from being able to function as a human.
Oh, God, you mean
Or not be
God,
like
you
not
mean
learning
kill
disorders.
God
Like,
or
it's not like
someone who
when I
convinces
speak
you?
aloud that I'm even aware. I'm not aware of like
Sorry?
the words that I'm going to use in my head prior to me speaking them. They seem to be like like something that happened.
I just googled it. It says only 30 to 50% of people have it.
But why would people want to write a
See?
story?
Some people think patterns.
This
I'd
is
like
like
to be able to.
Yes.
We are the weirdos.
We're queuing up a massive bell strike with Bueno Shalom.
Discussing that one single act
I think it must be it's really
Massive
hard
audio attack on my victim's ears.
to describe phenomena.
It's just a continual chain.
You know what it is? So, but you know that, like, so, you know, like, I remember reading this thing, you know, like, deaf
Fuck you every
people,
day.
especially if they were deaf for their whole lives, so, like, never learned, like,
Sorry, who wanna
they never
confront
heard
you?
language out
Who
loud.
wanna-
They think in signs. If they know sign language, they picture signs in their heads when they're doing their internal monologue.
Yeah.
Just like a
weird,
pig
right?
rolling
Like,
in the
such a
mud,
different-
going, oh, this is
I mean, I guess, right? So it's like, it's interesting to think of, like, I wonder, I don't remember, like, what they said about people who are late deaf and learn sign language, but I wonder if those people still retain their inner monologue, or they eventually, like, switch over to, like, seeing signs in their head when they're doing their inner monologue. Like, I don't know, that's,
When other people's
That's
sons
what-
just get covered up with
look
dirt
into
and
that.
rocks.
Well, sure, but can you demonstrate that he is?
I wonder if Egyptians thought in hieroglyphs instead of like words, like because
No, but Egyptians had scripts. Egyptians used
Oh, they had
scripts for
scripts,
everything.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they didn't use hieroglyphs were like, hieroglyphs were
Found the
especially
ossuary.
for like,
Who's that, Barth?
you know, temples.
and why? I mean, even though I can read, I don't think in letters. Like they think that
No.
part of the processing when you're reading versus when
Yeah, like in that, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, like translate, like language is weird, right? You think about like the way that it works when we speak it is very different than the way that it works in written form, because there's no periods or comma, there's no punctuation, right? There's no and like the pause between things is different. Like in writing, the words have separation. But when you're speaking, it's almost a continuation of words. It's like there's no space between them. Like when we say words, there's really very little space between the words. But when you write it down, you have the word and then the space and then the word, right? So it operates in a different fashion than like speaking does. Like you ever listen to two people talk but you don't know the language? It doesn't seem to have, like you don't see it. It doesn't make sense to you.
as much. Yeah.
Right, you don't notice it. It's just like stream.
Yeah, unless you catch a word that I know what that word means, and it sort of jumps out at you, but the rest of it just sounds like noise. Kind of. Yeah, it sounds like people talking, but like people talking noise. Like
Just streams
some
of.
glossolalia.
Yeah, it's a very language is a weird thing. That's but it's like so different. Like it's so unique too. Like I wonder, like even if we figure out that other animals use language, if that is even going to be something that we can grasp, because they may have like completely different types of like rules for their languages,
But
right?
don't dolphins like name each other and their offspring and have some sort
I mean, how do we know that though? You
I
know?
think it's been studied with that. There was that scientist who like lived with the dolphins and had to like.
Yeah, but how do they? So the issue to me is like that their communication is in a totally different. Like they might even like be able to create. So like they have dolphins right up like excellent hearing, and they hear it a different way because they don't have open ears, right? They hear they hear more. It's bone conduction for their hearing. So I wonder if their like perception of sounds is completely different than our own. You know?
Right. They say like when bats echolocate, they can even perceive colors.
Yeah, we can't hear those sounds. Some of those sounds are at a higher frequency or a lower frequency than we could pick up. So it's not even like we can necessarily understand their total language. Because let's say they could communicate in sounds we can't hear. Animals already do that. We know that, right? Like big cats communicate using infrasound, and elephants also communicate using infrasound. And elephants will know, like, if lions are in the hunt, even far away, because they could pick up infrasound communications from like lions. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but their communication, it possesses like some but not all 5 elements of like what language is.
Right. Yeah.
So they're
Yeah, they
communicating,
speak
but
about
they're
the
not having
present.
a language. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. They don't. I don't think like other animals' communication can have tenses. Like there's no past or future. They only communicate in the moment, right? So it's all like immediate.
Oh, you know that in the movie Aliens, like when you kill the alien and the alien screams, that's spat out elephants.
Yeah.
I love all this.
How do you know that they're not referencing the past when they?
I don't know that. I just think it's an inference we make from like their behaviors.
I think that I think animals can remember and they can
Of course I can, yeah.
perceive a future, but when they communicate, they're not. I don't think they're saying like, "Hey, you remember yesterday when?"
Synapses, some of them have synapses similar to ours. Would be agreeing that most animals have at least some memory, right?
Some animals have way better memory than we have, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as language goes, I don't think they're sitting around talking about like what happened at soccer last week or whatever.
No, because the thing about that is I think it's about the sense of self, though, Stu. That's about. So the reason why I think Chris, like the reason why we say they don't have that.
That was actually.
No, I know, but Chris, I'm saying so because I think the reason we intuit that they don't have that is because they don't seem. Animals don't have. Most animals don't seem to have the ability to sense the self, right? Don't have this notion of like there's this like unified phenomenon that things happen to in a continuity. So the experiences they have aren't necessarily like joined together by like saying this is my life and these are all the culmination of experiences I have. They rather are
The wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be torn from it.
Can we remove that?
Proverbs 3. My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity.